Okay, got a stackable washing machine that I'm getting rid of here, but wanted to show you the 5 most common, well, some of the most common problems with dryers. A very common problem is a dryer not heating very well or not drying the clothes very well. Most oftentimes the cause of that is a loose connection or poor connection somewhere at the vents. And on some of these, I'll use a high heat rated foil tape, and a lot of times I'll even seal up these joints here because some of these will let some air through there and you can kind of improve the efficiency there. But anyway, you need a good strong seal at all the places, and you can verify that you're getting good pressure outside where it vents to the outside. And somewhat quite related to this is clogs in the dryer's lint can build up in the dryer, but the most common cause of lint building up in the dryer vent is a loose connection somewhere, because without the full pressure, rather than the lint being blasted through to outside, it collects somewhere on something, and usually that's either a kink in the line or an opening, a small hole, a small puncture in the vent, or something along those lines. So sometimes you'll need to clear that. You can check out my video for an easy way to check for clogged hoses or to make sure your lines are clear. Other blockages that often occur are bird nests and other type situations at the dryer exit, so that's something to check, is to make sure that those are clear. Another common problem with dryers is a dryer not starting. Most oftentimes what that is this switch here. You see this one actually broke off, and someone has modified this to work temporarily, but like I said, this one's getting junked anyway, so I'm just going to be salvaging some parts to it. I'll show you how this normally is. Here's the normal dryer door switch, and oftentimes this is, this thing's made out of plastic. This little part breaks, and then that's it. You can replace the switch. Also, sometimes you can adjust the door here a little bit so that it'll engage what's left of the switch. Kind of like this one. This one I think someone used, looks like maybe JB Coldwell or A&B putty to make the switch a little bit bigger so that the door would still engage it. So anyway, that's a common problem with dryers. Other causes of a dryer not starting are a blown thermal fuse or tripped high limits, which I'll show a little bit further later on here. Other problems can be a bad motor. For these, you have to get underneath here and pull this part down with a pair of pliers, and then you can pull the lid forward. Not that easy one-handed, but I'll try. Here we go. Putting them back, you have to be really careful. Anyway, here's all your controls. Of course, you want to unplug your machine before you work on any of this. Burned wiring can be a problem if something burns or components, so just using your normal visual check. Most common things I've had the motor go out. As you can see, this one I've already taken the motor out. I have videos on showing that, and my trick for doing that is, you see the blower wheel back there, is if you use a pair of channel locks, you can actually hold the blower wheel in place while you take out the motor. That'll save you a whole lot of trouble, because otherwise you've got to get to the back of the machine, take it apart there. Okay, I've yet to have a capacitor go out. Trying to remember other problems I've had. The other thing is, in the back you have what's called high limits and your thermal fuse. And it's a nice machine in that you can tip them forward. These are usually in this little tight hallway area, and everything for the washing machine and the dryer you can work on from the front, which is pretty cool. Except for the dryer, what I do is tip it forward and kind of lean it on the thermostat there. Works out good in my situation. This one I've already taken the thermal fuse for. If you've seen some of my videos, you might have seen that video. This is the one I took it from, and now I'm remodeling a unit and going to be replacing this one as all the parts are gone. And anyway, trying to get to my screwdriver here so I can show you inside here. Anyway, I'll pull off these screws and give you an inside look. This one I'm going to be salvaging parts from. These are your high limits. Here is your heater coil, so I'll be salvaging the heater coil. And then normally right here is a thermal fuse. It's a little small white fuse, $3, $4, $5, $6 part, depending on where you get it. I have a video showing changing those, but these are your other common things that can go out. These you can do a continuity test to verify you've got continuity in between. Here's the blower wheel. So I'm actually, like I was telling you, going to be salvaging some of the parts from this unit so I can salvage my blower wheel. This one's brand new. Machine's never been used, but I wound up taking all different parts from it for various repairs over the years. But I can recover, my high limits, the thermal fuse, and then the heater coil. And this will be pretty nice because this can all be ready to go for the next job. If I have a heater coil go out, I haven't had it happen very often. What happens sometimes is a bobby pin or something metal goes through and bridges the leads to the heater coil, and that can burn out the heater coil. I do have a video showing that. Pull these apart. And again, I'll just be salvaging what I can use in the future from this particular machine. All right, and then I'll slip the leads off here. And this I kind of need both hands. Part. And this part is a little easier with a flat blade screwdriver, as you can kind of get in between there and just kind of either twist the lead off or pull it off. It's not really tight, which is good. There we go. There we go. And now here's our heater strip. There we go. And that's pretty cool because it'll just be ready if I ever have one go down. I've got that, got the blower wheel, and then now I can grab my thermal fuse and have some parts ready. Because again, these are some of the most common problems with dryers. And beyond that, you've got a belt. It's behind here. What you have to do is take off these two screws, disconnect your door switch, which this one's already disconnected here. So let me do that, and I'll show you the drum wheel. And yeah. It's only slightly tricky with, the 6-in-1 screwdriver really helps with dryers because getting into everything, you've got a couple different size screws, and the 6-in-1's got the nut driver on it as well as a Phillips screw and a flat blade, kind of everything you need. So our disconnect is already disconnected here. You can pull it forward and lift it up. And there we go. And now you can see our door switch there. And then here's the drum and the belt. Now this one has already been taken off the pulley, but normally you'd have to release the belt from the tension wheel. And this one, the belt has already been taken as well. So I guess I don't get to show you that, but that's another common thing that breaks on dryers is a belt. So that's You know, that's the most common problems with dryers. Oh, here's the pulley that I was showing you. What you do is put the belt on, and then you loop the two parts that are hanging down of the belt goes through here and goes around the motor shaft. So hopefully I have some footage that I can put a little bit better view of that in the video so you can see it. Yeah. Your lint filter catch, you know, that needs to be cleaned regularly. If you clean it every time, you'll get much more efficiency out of running the unit. And then, of course, your timer. I haven't had too many of these break on dryers, but that can be another problem with the dryer. And then you've got your buzzer here, and then here's your door switch to start. You know, but again, this is linked to the lid switch, which is the door switch here. This just starts it. And then this has a washer dryer selection switch for selecting in between wash and dry setups. You know, some of these things are unique to this dryer, but they kind of carry over the same principles and ideas for most dryers out there. And of course, this is an electric dryer. If you've got a gas dryer, you're going to have a few more things going on with the gas side of things, but all of the electrical stuff still applies to you know, that side of the dryers. Anyway, thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. That's some of the most common problems with dryers. Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it already, check out my video on easy way to check if your dryer vents are clogged.
Standing on the edge of death and life, standing in between right. Light shines down, bring truth. Us will fall. Darkest day to light. Pain give way to eternity. Temporary. This is just a test. It's a challenge. Hurt or just give it all you got. It will pass. It will fade. What you see is temporary. What you don't see is eternal. It will last. Hanging with the pain. Let it fade. Let it out. Let it This temporary pain gives way to what will last. Temporary pain will pass. This too will pass. Will fade. Give way, let it fade. Help the weak